Hello, I'm Hazer and welcome to Moose Reads. Before I get started, I want to say that the opinions that I give here are my own opinions. They are extremely subjective. If I dislike a book, it is not a reflection on the author and it is not a reflection on people who do like it. Different people have different tastes, and that's okay. Today, I will be reviewing Prince and Assassin by Tavia Lark. This is the first book in the Perilous Courts series. It is a queer fantasy romance. The description says, Whisper doesn't remember his real name. All he knows is the elite assassin guild that raised him, and controls him with the threat of blood magic. Plagued by nightmares, he doesn't get to refuse assignments, even when his new job doesn't make sense. Infiltrate Prince Julian's court, protect him until the signal arrives, then kill him. Julian hides his own schemes behind a sordid reputation. He trusts nobody besides his brothers, and he certainly doesn't trust the aloof, beautiful new stranger at court. But he doesn't have to trust the stranger to be drawn to him, especially when he saves Julian's life. Then Julian saves Whisper too, and Whisper's reserve shatters. Beneath Julian's playboy facade is a warmth Whisper can't resist. Whisper's never been comforted before. He's never been cared for like this. As his nightmares darken, Julian's touch is his only solace. But falling in love could ruin them both, because Whisper's mission hasn't changed, and the price for failure is worse than death. 4 stars. My brother recently read this series, and from the things he kept saying about it, it sounded like something I'd enjoy, so I decided to read them as well. And so far that's looking like a good decision. This book was fun. It's not groundbreaking by any means, but it is very much what it says on the tin. If it sounds like a good time, you'll probably enjoy it. It is a little insta-lovey in that they are both immediately super into each other, but they take a while to start actually having a relationship, so I didn't find it terribly grating. Largely, this book is quite predictable. There's some background politics happening that relate to why Whisper has been hired that are fairly transparent, with a few minor exceptions that I'm pretty sure have to do with stuff that's coming in the later books. That's it for no spoilers. If you don't want spoilers, now is the time to pause or close the video. For everyone else, let's talk details. There are only 2 things in this book that I can really complain about, and the first one I could justify if pressed. I just didn't feel like the book did. Early on in the book, Julian feels there's something a bit off about Whisper, and since he's rapidly falling for him, he wants to make sure he's not stepping into trouble. So he has his guards do a background check. Of course, the elite assassin guild Whisper works for has prepared for this, so the background check comes back with his cover story and Julian is satisfied. The problem comes later when another assassin shows up to give Whisper the signal and poses as his sister. Julian meets her and his suspicions are immediately rekindled because the carefully arranged cover story said that Whisper was an only child, which seems like a bit of an oversight for the assassin guild. Like I said, I can technically justify this. We learn later that the person who hired Whisper bought out his contract, so the guild has no real reason to care if he lives or dies, and we also find out that the guy running it doesn't care for loose ends. Additionally, while Whisper wasn't really supposed to get caught, it was supposed to be obvious after the fact that he was the killer. The pieces were there, the book just never really tied them together sufficiently for my liking. The other assassin is my other complaint. The guy in charge of the Assassin Guild grants 1 boon to each assassin after their 6th mission. They can ask for anything within his power, including their freedom. This is Whisper's 6th mission, so if he succeeds, he gets his chosen reward. Initially, Whisper intends to ask for his own freedom, but there's a younger assassin who is like a sister to him, and that he thinks is ill-suited to the life, and is just getting started. So he decides to ask for her freedom instead. But the assassin master says that if the reward is hers, so is the risk, meaning that if Whisper fails, she dies. So even once Whisper starts falling for Julian, he has to weigh Julian's life against his surrogate sister's. This is the assassin that shows up posing as his sister, and we quickly get a face heel turn. She's not actually the innocent that Whisper believed her to be, she's actually extremely conniving and bloodthirsty. So not only was she never really at risk, she was never going to accept the reward. I just didn't care for this twist. It felt like it came out of nowhere, and it kind of makes Whisper seem less competent for completely misreading her, which is a bit of a problem when he's then set up as the head of Julian's spy network. All the same, I had a good time with it, and I'm going to keep reading the series. It's not terribly original or complex, but it is enjoyable. It's a popcorn series, really, and I like popcorn. That's all I have to say about Prince and Assassin. If you like this video, I hope you'll watch more in the future. Thanks for watching this one. Bye!